How is everybody? Now you can hear me because it's Wednesday night. It's time for the Ravori Sports Podcast. Like and subscribe to all of the social media content. So, thank you very much for joining us here. We appreciate all of you out here every week joining us now, almost at exactly 100 people on the Twitter, over 250 now on Facebook, Instagram. So thank all of you as well. Definitely the blog ravorisports.blog, Ravori Sports blog spot. Definitely check that out. Just put in Ravori Sports blog and Twitter. I'm sorry, on Twitter or on Google is the best way to find it. Getting now traffic was at about 1,000 this week. Traffic on the ravorisports.company.site, more and more. So thank all of you for taking interest in what we're doing here. Appreciate it. Thank all of you as well. Those of you watching also too on Drive to the Top Productions, definitely subscribe to that as well. Definitely in Drive to the Top Productions. Appreciate it. There's a lot of good sports content. It's not just Steelers as well, but you got looks like maybe we're getting some Browns content here back as well. We got if you like the Saints, if you like the Texans, a lot of good content, sports content. Dylan, definitely lots of good stuff. Buffalo, it's more of a lot of good mix of NFL content where they're going to have UFL content coming up as well. Wednesday night, tonight, Steel City Sports came on. I think if you're watching, so Drive to Top, it already came on beforehand. So definitely a lot of good stuff there. Genesis Notary Services / Facebook.com. So definitely too, if you are in the Winchester, Virginia area, definitely hit us up. I know it's snowing outside, so obviously that slowed up things as well. But definitely give us a call. Numbers on our Facebook page as well. Definitely every week now get hits on that. See Charles Harris. We are LegalShield.com. So definitely check that out for you. That's a great resource for you if you are, especially a small business owner, and you need help with Legal Shield. You need help with your business. Legal Shield is a great resource for you as well. Coming up, Super Bowl coming up next week. Coming up next week, Super Bowl is coming. So we're going to have coverage before the game, about 3 o'clock. We'll be coming on as well with a pregame before you get to that. After there, we'll be there. Hopefully we get somebody from Driving to the Top or somebody else to come on after the game and do a little post game of not just the Super Bowl, but the entire season. MLB pregame predictions. Did a predictions video. Who's going to finish where? Who's going to win MVP? Definitely, we're going to do that here on the NFL preseason predictions video. One last thing, Ravori Sports Conversation. Definitely, we're going to do that this weekend. It's going to air the week before the Super Bowl, the day before the Super Bowl, the night before the Super Bowl. We're going to have Ravori Sports Conversation. We're going to do the announcement as well of who it is on there, and you'll see that. And also to our Ravori Sports rebrand as well. You'll definitely check that out. Now, apparently, I'm contractually obligated to talk about the Ravens coaching search and all the staff movements and whatever. I think it's fascinating that that's like all the conversation on the Ravens social media. Nobody's, and I understand we got to do coaching and all that. We're going to have Jesse Minter's press conference on the channel tomorrow as well. So definitely check that out as well. Check out our Twitter page. It'll be on there as well, our Facebook and Twitter. The press conference, you'll be able to watch it in full. So you'll be able to get a chance to do that. I just think it's fascinating that nobody's talking about what we're going to talk about tonight, the team needs and all that stuff as well. But obviously we do have a change. So a couple things here. Sean Flaherty is hired as the assistant offensive coach as well. He's from Atlanta. Dwayne Ledford is over as well as the offensive line coach. And so they're giving him these different titles now, pass game coordinator, run game coordinator, and the offensive line. Different titles, but Assistant offensive line coach, he'll assist Dwayne Ledford, who was hired yesterday as well. Notre Dame defensive backs coach Mike Mickens was hired as the DB coach, so he was the DB coach for the Fighting Irish. He will come with Jesse Minter and become the coach. He'll become the defensive backs coach for the Ravens as well. 39 years old, young guy, really, really young-looking guy. Definitely now searching for an OC. So Todd Monken won't be returning in Baltimore as OC. Well, we'll get to that in a second. But Cliff Kingsbury and Declan Doyle were the two names that are out there. Cliff Kingsbury, I saw he's interviewing, if he hasn't already, with Tennessee as well. And Declan Doyle, the Ravens did ask permission to talk to Bears OC as well. 29 years old, young guy as well. So definitely did a good job with Caleb Williams there as well. And also Ravens hire offensive Ravens don't hire. The Browns hire offensive coordinator Todd Monken. Congratulations to Todd Monken becoming a head coach. Look, a lot of jokes for a guy who did a pretty good job as offensive coordinator the last couple of years. I felt bad for Monken today because there was a lot of people who aren't aware of him. I do want to say it's good for Shedeur Sanders because Monken is a guy that's going to tailor his offense to whatever Shedeur does well. And that tells me that he likes the way Shedeur is played. That's what that tells me while they hired Todd Monken here as well. So that's one thing as well with Todd Monken getting the job. So in division now, so you're going to get the offensive coordinator in division every year. He's going to know a lot about us as well. Former also Ravens DC Jim Swartz is no longer going to be there, was currently in contention for the job. Word is he got very upset by the fact that he was not named head coach. I don't know exactly what happened. That's just a mess. That's typical Cleveland stuff, like not handling that as well. But do feel good for Todd Monken finally getting his opportunity. Look, 59 years old. You work hard for some, I'm going through that right now myself. Opportunity like that comes along, you take it. May never get a chance to be a head coach. Good for him. Good for Todd Monken actually getting that squared away. Now, get to a regularly scheduled program and team needs for the Baltimore Ravens. So last week we went over who's a free agent, who might be out there as well. We'll go over next week. We'll go over targets, possible free agent targets for the Ravens as well. Now that we actually have a coach, we definitely know a little bit more now. We definitely know better. So what does the team need going into 2026? What is the team actually looking at going forward next season, and what they are looking for as a team? Because you're building a team, because now in the team building season, the offseason. Now, let's tell you what they're not going to do, right? So before we tell you what they're going to do, what they definitely don't need. You don't need a starting quarterback. They're going to keep Lamar Jackson. I don't care. I mean, you can forget that. They're definitely going to keep Lamar Jackson. They're not looking for a running back. You got Derrick Henry under contract for another year. You got Keaton Mitchell probably coming back as a restricted free agent as well. So I don't see Justice Hill's under contract. So you're probably not looking for a running back. Maybe late in the draft. You never know. Or something like that. Inside linebacker, you got Roquan Smith. You got Trent Simpson. And you got Teddy Buchanan as well. So Teddy Buchanan did finish the season with the injury. We'll see. I doubt they spend any money on inside linebacker. Even if they move somebody, I think they'll just go with the other two as well. Please, no more safety. So you got safeties as well. You drafted Malachi Starks in the draft. You signed Kyle Hamilton to an extension. Adarius still up in the air. Lily Gilman is still up in the air. But I doubt they spend any significant dollars on a safety other than maybe ringing up one of those guys. Nose tackle, I think, is pretty secure. You went ahead and signed. You went ahead and re-signed John Jenkins, veteran John Jenkins, and Travis Jones. You're straight. I don't think they do anything else there. Even though we still don't know about Nanny Maduke. I've been asking all week, trying to find out something. Nobody knows anything about Madubuke. The only thing I hear is refer to the HIPAA and we can't talk about it, and that's it. That's all anybody's talking about. I don't see any articles written. I don't see anything. That tells me nobody's saying anything. So no one knows. So defensive end may be something they're looking at. If they can get 90 back, and it doesn't look good that he's coming back, maybe not as well. Other things, backup quarterback, depending on what happens with Tyler Huntley, if you go ahead and sign him, you're certainly looking at that. Punter, only if you can't sign Jordan Stout, who's a free agent, very good free agent prospect last year. Fullback, I think we do this every year with Pat Ricard. Are they going to sign him? Are they going to give you another year of Pat Ricard? We talked about defensive end and center, kind of the same deal. I think you're only really looking for one if you go ahead and can't sign Linderbaum, if you don't franchise him, etc. All right, so what do you need? So wide receiver, I'm listing these in order I think of importance. Number 6, I think, is wide receiver. It's low on the list because you have a very good number 1 receiver coming up, maybe on an extension at some point for Zay Flowers. So that's a real thing that's coming. However, you got Zay Flowers, an extension for him. We'll see about that. Rashard Bateman. Again, stuff on Twitter, not happy with his role. Production was down, injuries. That's a thing. He's your number 2 receiver. I've always said Rashard Bateman is good enough to be a good number 2 receiver. Always said that. Always said he's plenty good enough. If you just keep him on the field and he's productive, no problem with that. DeAndre Hopkins all but admitted he doesn't think he's coming back. If you saw a recent interview with D-Hop, doesn't think he's coming back as well. And maybe up to a new coach. We'll see as well. Devontae Walker, I think, gets a bigger role regardless of what happens in the offseason. He's been productive in the small samples that he's got. This is year 3 for him. We will see what happens there. Tylan Wallace, I don't know about Tylan Wallace. I think maybe it's a special teams guy. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. And LeJohntay Wester, I think, comes back. I do think this is more of a draft thing, or if you can get a good receiver at some point in the draft, I think that's something here. Number 5, tight end. Obviously, the number 1 spot is still Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews signed a 3-year extension at the end of the year. So definitely Isaiah Likely. All 3 were free agents. Likely Andrews is off the board. Isaiah Likely, Charlie Kolar. Likely's unlikely to be back, I think. I think they can even go first round here in the draft. I don't know if they will, but definitely 2, if you can get on the board and sign it and get a tight end early, that's possible. I don't think that's completely off the reservation if they have him at the highest point of the board. Charlie Kolar, I have no idea what's going to happen with him. I think this could go either way. They could keep Charlie Kolar as well. I do think you may be looking for 2 tight ends. I think that could be the likely thing that happens, no pun intended, like where you assign 2 guys. 2 mid-round guys. I mean, a lot of these guys are mid-round guys as they came in, even though they've been hold their spot. Andrews, 3rd round, likely I think was 4 or 5. Kolar was later. So we'll see what happens there. Definitely, 2 is something they're looking for to back up Mark Andrews as well. Offensive tackle. Again, not looking for starters. With Ronnie Stanley, you're always going to worry about his injury issues, his health injury. He was fairly healthy this season. I think he missed, 1 game, because of injury as well. Pretty solid. I think he's got 2 more years. I don't think you're looking to replace him, I don't think. But certainly it's something you're looking long-term in the draft. It's getting also towards the time. This is year 3, I think, for Roger Rosengarten. So you're definitely looking for backup. You had nothing behind them. They played a lot of snaps last year as well. So Carson Vincent, I think we're going to see more of him. Developmental, definitely note boom. A veteran is coming here for sure. They're definitely too, I think, draft and all that, but I think a veteran is coming here. I definitely think they're going to need that as well. Vincent, again, we have no idea if he could play. I don't know if he played 20 snaps last year. Most Sundays he was inactive, healthy scratch. So I think even though that was by design, we'll see what we got here. I think this is more of a need. I had this higher than the other 2 because of the Stanley injury history. You may at some point need somebody here where I think the other positions, I think you'll probably get more during the course of the year. Stanley as your number one guy is you got to worry about his injury history as well. But I do think he's back. Cornerback's a little bit higher than what people might think. Marlon Humphrey, Awuzie, Nate Wiggins, Keon Martin, TJ Tampa, Blair Cone, and Longerbeam. Start to bottom. They're just going to show up in camp, Cone and Longerbeam. Hopefully they're healthy enough to make it through a camp. Terrible injury for Cone last year, as well. Longerbeam as well. Injuries in camp. They're going to get another shot in camp. I think that's what they're going to get. TJ Tampa was pretty good on his special teams, but he really didn't play much in rotation. That could have been because you had so many good corners ahead of him. So interesting to see when now that Jesse Minter's coming in, how he feels about that. Keon Martin had a good camp, had a good start. Kind of his playing time kind of waned as they went down the stretch. So we'll see. All new coaches now too. Keep that in mind. So whatever spot you thought you had, you definitely have to fight now. Definitely not have to fight for it as well. Nate Wiggins, I think, is going to be your default number one corner for sure in 2025. In 2026, Wiggins, I think, is the one guy for sure that's going to be here without the question. I don't think there's any question about whether Nate Wiggins is going to be there as well. Awuzie, I thought was really good last year, but he's 31. He doesn't have a contract, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with him. And Marlon Humphrey, I don't know if we're going to have Marlon next year. I think this is why I have the need. You may be looking for a starter or two if you consider the nickelback the starter as well. Awuzie, a free agent, and Marlon, I don't know if they bring him back. I think Marlon – it's interesting how they feel about Marlon because Marlon, all the PFF grade, all his man-to-man stuff, he's not nearly what he was, but he seems to have a way to get the ball. More interceptions than anybody else. So it's interesting as well. Do you want to keep paying them? I'm pretty sure they don't want to keep paying them what they're paying. But interesting to see there as well. Number 2, offensive guard. I don't think there's any question about it here as well. You need 2 starters. The only reason why it's not 1 is because you may have a starter already here and you don't know it. Emory Jones, I believe they're going to give him every opportunity to be your starting left or right guard next season. I don't think there's any question about that. Voorhees just didn't play well. I think he has still potential. It'll be interesting, really interesting to see what happens. You got a new offensive line coach that we just mentioned as well. Voorhees, I don't think he's as bad as he gets joked on, and because I think he just needs to get stronger. I think I'd like to see him get in the weight room and really get 20 pounds of muscle strength. I think that's his biggest thing. He's not strong enough at times as well. And Falele, please go to New York. Please go to New York. Todd Monken, there's another one now. You got Todd Monken as a head coach. Go to the dog pound as well. They gotta replace these guys. They gotta replace. You need at least 2 starters. I think this is definitely veterans they're going to look at. Interested to see what Eric DeCosta says tomorrow about free agency. They talk about that during the Jesse Minter press conference as well. But this is something that you need. You got to have. This is 911 stuff as well. The biggest need is the pass rush. Last game of the year, the great Chris Collinsworth said at the end of the game is the reason the Ravens don't make the playoffs is the edge rush. I totally agree. The edge rush was very subpar. When Matabuke possibly never coming back, that's going to be a problem for them, absolutely, as well. I start at the top. Mike Green, I think, is going to start most, barring some Max Crosby, Hendrickson, something like that. You're definitely going to have him as one of your starters. Again, kind of like what I said before, he's potential. I think he's going to be pretty good. When I say potential, I mean that seriously. I think he's really has some talent in him as well. He's just not strong enough all the time. I think that's kind of the only thing I see with him as well. Dre'Mont Jones, no problem with him as a third guy as well. I think that's a definite thing as well. Decent understand we're going to have a new system as well. I definitely think you're looking for an upgrade, though. Definitely think you're looking for an upgrade. He did what he came to do. I think I have no problem with signing him. I don't see Kyle Van Noy coming back. I'd be surprised. Not as good last year. Getting older, new coach. I don't think you're going to have Kyle Van Noy. A lot of people like Tavius Robinson. I'm just not with you. I think Tavius is a good, solid backup. That's about it. I really think he's too slow for the edge sometimes. I think that's his biggest problem. I think he sets the edge well. I think if you had like J.J. Watt on the other side and him or somebody you just wanted him to set the edge or more traditional, fine. Maybe a Jarrett Johnson type. Best you hope for him. But I don't see him as a long-term starter. Adiza Isaac, we haven't gotten anything from him. I don't remember him playing any regular season games. He's been injured pretty much the whole time. And pretty sure you're going to say goodbye to David Ojabo. Shout out to him for being still in the roster. Ojabo's just hasn't been given enough production. I think I kind of put him in the Anthony Poindexter category. With the injuries, just not the same. There you go. Team needs. So, what are the Ravens' needs? So, those are the things that the Ravens are going to look at in the offseason. Next week, we're going to talk about free agent targets. It's going to be interesting, like all of us, to see what guys from the Chargers come over now. We'll see. Like, Khalil Mack is out there. Funny enough, Fadafi Owe is out there. On our squad, he's familiar with the other side of that trade. He's familiar with Alohi Gilman as well. So can he convince some of those good defensive players from the Chargers to come over or any other players? Will they also to go after more free agents this year? I think I got a feeling they will. They got more holes. They got to do a little bit more in free agency. So it'll be interesting to see that as well. All right. Championship Sunday last week, last dual games of the year on Sunday that happened last Sunday. Next week, we'll get to the Super Bowl. No game this weekend, obviously. Next week, Super Bowl as well. Let's talk about both games. Denver and the Patriots going to the Super Bowl 10-7. Patriots over the Broncos in Denver. It feels a little anticlimactic for Denver. I felt kind of bad for them considering the circumstances. One, you lose your starting quarterback right at the end of the game the previous week in the divisional round. And secondly, there was a terrible blizzard in the second half. Nobody did anything in the second half. I thought that was a real thing. So 10-7, look, they did just enough to win. I mean, May had 86 yards. It's interesting to see how they got back, though. How they got back. I think when we do the Super Bowl preview, you're going to hear about how good some of these players are how good some of these players are in New England. This defense, Milton Williams, Christian Barrymore, Christian Gonzalez, they're outstanding on defense. Harold Landry. So we'll talk about that. Broncos, nothing to hang their head about. I think they just had goofy circumstances as well. Nothing to feel bad about. Bo Nix, Sean Payton, and everything coming back as well. This was an outstanding contest as well. Rams and the Seahawks. Again, neither team really played poorly. I like as well. This was all 4 quarters. Both quarterbacks were tremendous. Stafford over 300 yards. Sam Darnold over 300 yards. These number one receivers for both squads are just unbelievable. Jackson Smith, the neighbor, is unbelievable as a receiver. Really eye-opening, this guy. You cannot cover him. Seriously, like downfield, like in the same with Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua in the short area or is a more complete guy, but he kind of reminds me of Tyreek Hill, because you can't stay with him. he's gonna break a long one at some point in the game. So outstanding stuff. Run games I thought were consistent. Game was physical as well. The block, the drop punt mattered the most. So a good Rams team that's buttoned up, fewest penalties in the league, very few drop passes, but their special teams was what cost them. And their special teams has been an issue all year long. They fired the coach. It wasn't good in this game, and the Seahawks get a win. So we got Seahawks and Rams in the Super Bowl. There you go. All right. And we'll talk about Super Bowl next week for sure. We'll definitely go over that as well. Championship game, definitely a thing that we will talk about as well during the Super Bowl. So definitely we're going to have plenty of Super Bowl coverage. I'm going to talk about this real quick. Let's talk about the Hall of Fame vote with Bill Belichick real quick. So we talked about this, and if you haven't watched it, definitely check it out last night on the open mic. So definitely check that out. Frankly, it's an open mic, right? You're not supposed to agree with what everybody says and all of that stuff. I'm in shock that anybody thinks that this guy is in the first ballot Hall of Famer. And trust me when I tell you, I if you want to say Tom Brady carried him, if you want to say that he didn't do as well, okay. You want to say all that, I'll give you that. But the guy has more Super Bowls than anybody else. He's probably the greatest defensive coach they ever saw. Jimmy Johnson, I saw him today, call him the greatest defensive coach he ever saw. What are we doing? Bill Polian it's reported, I don't know, but he's reported saying that he was the one leading the charge for guys not to vote for him. He was quoted saying he couldn't remember voting for him. There is a lot of tension with him, with the current Patriots, with the Kraft family, the way he was handled, because he was let go. Even in North Carolina, he's now allowing New England stuff for Drake. Coincidentally, Drake May was a Tar Heel, and none of that matters in this case to me. And I definitely like that. And the point I made, I reiterated: if Jerry Rice was the worst guy in the world to everybody, he belongs in the Hall of Fame. What he did. You can make the case for Carlos Beltran or a borderline guy or whatever. Okay, Frank Gore, fine and dandy. But Bill Belichick has more Super Bowls than anybody else. It's ridiculous. And production matters in life. Production matters. If you got more Super Bowls than anybody else and you're judging a coach, what else would you say? And I heard Deflategate and deflated footballs and all this, and I don't care. He won. He won more than everybody else. Whatever he was doing, it worked. It worked way more than anybody else. They had a 20-year dynasty in New England. Crazy. I don't understand y'all if y'all don't think. And again, I don't like defending Belichick. I think a lot of what they're saying is true. But that doesn't mean he's not a Hall of Fame coach without the question. I don't think there's any question whether he's a first ballot Hall of Fame as a coach. I think he's the greatest defensive coach maybe of all time. I can't think of a guy I want more running a defense than Bill Belichick as well. Now, again, offense, I'll give you that. Brady carried him, big cantankerous with people, awful with media, all that. That's right. That's fine. But greatest defensive coach all the time, more Super Bowls than anybody else. Unbelievable. They didn't get in. And again, I understand people don't like him. I mean, again, I'm not a fan necessarily, but man, oh man, not a Hall of Famer. Crazy. All right, let's talk a little college basketball. We are going to talk Terps. Let's get the graphic up here. So the Terps going to play Purdue Boilermakers, who all of a sudden here are scuffling a bit. They lost the last 2 games. So the Boilers here losing to Illinois, which was pretty much expected as well, and now losing to Indiana more recently as well. So they're having some issues as well, but still, the Boilermakers are a top 10 team now, top 12 now. And the Maryland Terps, Maryland's got some issues, man. I mean, we're going to talk a little bit here about the Terps as well, and Buzz Williams and the job they're doing. Definitely check out what we talked about here Saturday. We had an article on the Ravori Sports blog with that, so definitely check that out as well. More like 25 years ago. The boy's name is Adam Randall. I gotta tell you though, I know what Buzz Williams wants to do. Buzz Williams absolutely wants to have good defensive team. He doesn't have one. I mean, you can see the style. They're really hustling on defense, a lot of trapping, a lot of that type stuff. But Buzz, he just doesn't have that as well. And so we'll definitely go over that, fixing the graphic here because they did lose. So the Boilermakers, 17-4 against the Terps, 8-12 as well. That's right. Terps are 8-12. Definitely a team at the bottom of the Atlantic. Almost not the Atlantic Coast Conference, the Big Ten. So let's go ahead and get this squared away here. I know we got the graphic right.
This is the best racing game in the world. This is CSR, a mobile game that's the number one in racing genre for many years. In this game, you can compete in real-time drag races, take part in.
So the game on CBS on Sunday, 1 o'clock. So no more Ravens, but you got a Terps game here at least through February and early March. So what do the Boilers look like as well? Boilers are definitely, despite the recent struggles, are going to the NCAA tournament. No question about it. What's the difference between the Boilermakers and the Terps? Their experience. The Boilermakers definitely are bringing back a lot of their team. So even reviewing this team, there's a lot of names that I'm familiar with. Trey Kaufman-Ring. So essentially, he was the guy that replaced Zach Edey a few years ago. Not as good lately. 13 points. I get $300 for 13 points per game, along with 8.3 rebounds. Scoring has been down lately. He's not a great scorer, in my opinion, as well. Pretty good scorer. But I think he's kind of more relies on his inside game. I think he's a bit streaky. So 18 points per game, 8.3 rebounds. I'll get that graphic right. So 18, 13 points a game, 13.3 rebounds as well. I think definitely a guy that they need to go ahead and get going. I think lately he has struggled, which is why they haven't been playing as well, playing a little less minutes as well. Good in the Indiana game. He had like 23 points. But I think definitely as well. Fletcher Lawyer for them has been down. StreamYard put this thing on here. I hate this. Like, show for 10 seconds. No, I don't want you to show for 10 seconds. I want you to show till I'm done. They put that on there. All right. So 12.5 points a game for Fletcher Lawyer. He's definitely their outstanding three-point shooter. Not maybe as proficient as he was lately or as he's been, but definitely he's their shooter. So definitely he's a guy that you have to watch from their deep three as well. Definitely, he plays off their point guard, Brendan Smith, very well. Definitely, I think he's the guy that really can break you back, though. I always have a guy like that. So he kind of reminds me when I see him play of a little smaller version of a Rex Chapman. I'll get to that. Adam Schefter's posted something about the Hall of Fame. That's interesting. But 18, but 12 points a game as well. So he's definitely a guy that's going to be a good outside shooter for them. But they're absolutely led about the Big Ten. I think probably one of the best players in all of college basketball. Brendan Smith, 15.1 points a game. 15.1 points a game, 9 assists. So not only is he getting the job done as far as scoring points, but he's getting the job as assists as well. I don't think there's anything he doesn't do well as well. I think like he goes to the next level. I think I see more of a point guard in him. I don't know if he's going to score as much as he is in college, but I definitely think his offensive talent is definitely there. Where he can go ahead and be a star. He is also to the embodiment of what the Terps don't have. They don't have a stud like this. They don't have a guy that really is just, the guy that actually can do all things for you and really go ahead and win basketball games. That's what the absolute Terps. That's what the Terps don't have. One second. All right, we're back. All right, talking about the Terps. Diggy Colt. I think if you're looking for a bright spot, it's David Diggy Colt. Goes by Diggy, apparently, for the Terps. He's the bright spot for Maryland as well. I think that absolutely he's the only guy I think that's a volume scorer. 15 points a game for him as well. 2.2 assists. Outstanding outside shooter. I think there are nights, I think, unfortunately, they're depending too much on him as well. I think that's the only negative I have for him. Not great defensively. He's only 5'11", but I think there's nothing wrong with this guy. This guy is kind of that's kind of the sad part. They kind of go as he goes offensively, but he's the real deal. He's a real deal. Dickie Cole, there's no question about it. Darius Adams, also for Maryland, 11.9 points a game, 3.7 rebounds as well. Darius Adams, I think, is – I don't know what's wrong, why he doesn't score more, but it looks like at times he's not in the game as much. He's a good defensive player. I think he kind of fits what Buzz Williams does. But I think offensively he kind of gets lost. He doesn't assert himself enough. I think he's the only, other guy you have other than Diggy Cole that's really a volume scorer as well. Elijah Sanders is – I think like he's not – he's scoring more than he needs to. He has some good games as well, but he's more of a guy, I think, a good old piece of meat and potatoes. When I see him, like he's a little lesser version of a Keith Booth. A little bit guard, a little bit forward, a little bit rebound, a little bit scoring, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. Adds up to a lot. So I'm not saying that to diss him, but I don't think he's the type of, you need a guy like if you had Pharrell Payne and him, that would work. Pharrell Payne probably too. Big loss as well. Not going to have him back the rest of the year. So this game Sunday at 1:00 CBS. So definitely check it out. Terps, Boilers, top 20 team, tough Big Ten schedule. I don't think they have enough. I don't think they have enough to beat these teams in the Big Ten. Big Ten is tough. I mean, you're getting Michigan's really good. We know Purdue's really good. You know, Michigan State's really good. They lost to Indiana, which is not nearly as good as well, supposedly. And Nebraska is coming out of nowhere here. I think so. They're in the top 10. So we'll see how the Terps do the rest of the year. And they had a game on Sunday. All right.
You may be right. You may be wrong. Travis, like arrange your own Chicago ranch.
There you go.
His way.
All right. Let's shift to baseball season that's coming. We're still on Zach Gallen watch as Oriole fans as well. So we'll talk about that because we're going to talk about who's coming in new for the Orioles. But again, second base. So we're doing our list. We're going to release this tomorrow on our social media as well. And who is the top 10 second baseman in the MLB in 2026? We'll definitely see who that is as well. Last year was a little different. Some guys moved. So I think we got a stronger group of second basemen here in 2026. Altuve, for some reason, they put him out in the outfield. I don't understand that. But he's back at second base this year as well. Betts was at second. Now he's at short. Bichette's now at third. So, again, number one, I think, is easy. After that, I think it's good. But I think overall, I think you got a stronger group as a whole. Number 10, our guy, Jackson Holliday. Maybe that's a homer pick, but this guy was the first overall pick, as we know. I think Jackson Holliday is about to turn the corner. He's definitely developed into a solid, everyday leadoff guy. He just needs to be more consistent on an everyday basis. He still has some slumps. I think he's still learning, growing in the game. I think he's fine at second base. I like him better at short. I think he's still learning second base, but he's definitely, I think, fine at second base. He's going to be at second. It's not going to be Gunnar Henderson at third. It's going to be at second. So I think definitely there. So this is a bit of a projection as we go forward. But I think Jackson Holliday, I think absolutely is the real deal as well at second base. Definitely, I think, definitely put him in the top 10. Byron Scott. I'm sorry. Not the Laker, Bryson Scott of the Philadelphia Phillies. These lists, haven't you noticed how many Philly? I'm sorry. Stott. I'm sorry. I got Scott on. That's why I said Stott. Bryson Stott of the Phillies. 256, 13 home runs, 66 RBIs last year. This is a very good, solid second baseman. Kind of reminds me of like a guy I used to watch a long time ago, the second baseman, fits in the Phillies lineup. The Giants, they had Will Clark, Kevin Mitchell back in the 80s, and they also had a guy named Robbie Thompson. That's what I see when I see this guy. Big, strong guy, second base. Not quite the production of a good first baseman, but he's at second, and it's definitely helpful. I think he's definitely helpful in the Phillies lineup as well. Capable of more, definitely in that lineup. He's definitely got a lot of protection. So I like Stott there. Number 9, Bryson Stott. Marcus Semien for the Mets. So that's right. No longer of the Texas Rangers. A lot of people feel, whether that's right, wrong, or whatever, that this is the best defensive second baseman in all of MLB. I would agree. I think that's why the Mets took him. That's why they're moving Bichette to third. I think they really mostly want his defense. I don't think he's completely cooked as an offensive player as well either. I mean, 230 average was down, but 15 home runs, 62 RBIs last year. He's 35 years old, so that gives me some pause that he can regain that good offensive game. But he's going to defend well. I think that's a thing. The Mets, they have offensive players, but they have issues on defense. And I think this is a guy that can really help him. And I think he's definitely one of the best, if not the best, defensive second baseman in the league. And I think that's a thing. Funny now, not that long ago, we were talking about him as one of the great second basemen. But yeah, I think that's why the Mets have him here because he's a defensive guy. They need that. Gabler Torres from the Tigers as well. Kind of still waiting for him to do a little bit more like a lot of these guys. Like, again, 256, 16 home runs, 74 RBIs, 136 hits. I feel like I should be getting more from him on offense as well, because I definitely think the potential's there. I kind of got him in the same spot. I've had him kind of like fifth, sixth best. Not great defensively, kind of okay defensively, but I like to see him go. It's possible of getting up there. All these like guys, I think like 9, 10, and 7, I think are capable of doing much more offensively than what we've seen. So number 7, Torres. Here's a guy who did do well offensively. Bryce Trang of the outstanding Brewers team as well. So the Brewers had the best record, I think, in the National League last year. 288, 18 home runs, 81 RBIs. I think definitely really young, 26 years old. I do think this guy is going to be a 30 home run guy for them as well. Definitely, I love the way he pulls the ball. Definitely, I like his swing, the way he pulls the ball as well. Very strong guy. I think he's got that sneaky strength as well. He doesn't always look the part, but definitely a guy, and definitely good situation like that as well. Definitely does the right things at the right spots. So I definitely like Trang. Number 6, Nico Hosmer of the Chicago Cubs. Few guys on the list is a good team. This is a solid average hitter here. This is what you're getting with Hosmer. 297, almost 300, 178 hits as well. Solid defensive player as well. Definitely Hosmer, I think, is a guy, you know what you're getting. Consistent. I think of the guys we've seen so far, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get solid hitting, round 300 average, solid glove in the field, hitting at the top of the order. Definitely that's what you're going to get from Hosmer as well. That's why I put him in number 5. Nothing wrong with that. You can win with 9 Nico Hosmers if you have them as well. Jazz Chisholm, interesting, right? I almost felt like I shouldn't even place him at all, because that season he had last year was just way more than what he's done in terms of home. I mean, all of a sudden he had like 31 home runs and 80 RBIs. So definitely as well. Good defender. I think he's a touch overrated defensively. He's one of these, I kind of like, just because he has a Yankee like the Jeter. He makes these flashy plays at times and another time as well. But I think his offense is real. I don't think that's a flash in the pan at all. Definitely 2 in that lineup. He's 27 years old. I definitely think some people might have him higher. I'm going to a little bit. I don't know about that quite yet, but this is the one I don't know if he's going to do as well, but I do think his offense is real. His offense is real. I think he's an excellent hitter. Great bat speed as well. Got just natural bat speed. That's why he hit 31 home runs last year as well. Can't have the list back on it where he belongs at second base, Jose Altuve as well. I do think Jose Altuve is a Hall of Famer. One of the best second basemen I think that ever played. 265, 26 home runs, 77 RBIs, 35 years old. I think he kind of also reminds me of Freddie Freeman. I don't see any really slowing of him like we predicted. I thought last year he was better offensively than he's been in recent years in terms of production, RBIs, all that other stuff. He's the engine. If the Astros have a shot, it's because they still have this guy here, Jose Altuve. You would think, though, at some point there's going to be slippage. But I think putting him – I have no idea why he was in the outfield. That was just crazy. Why do that? It's not like – I can understand it at short or catcher or something like that. But second base, he can handle that. As it gets old, I'm not worried about that. So leave him at second. Number 3, Jose Altuve. Brandon Lowe from the Pirates. Yes, the Pirates. Brandon Lowe. Look at the numbers. Better than what you think if you haven't been paying attention to him. 256, 30 home runs, 83 RBIs last season as well. Real power this guy has. No question about it. I don't think, again, you talk about Chisholm. not having power, but the last 3 years, the last couple of years, 21 home runs, 20 home runs. He had 39. Year before that, he's had 15, 14 plus home runs for the last 6 years. This guy is for real. Now he was in Tampa, so the Pirates I think are improving as well. So I kind of worry about that because he's in Tampa. So you wonder, he's in National League Park. Will some of that power, but this guy's for real. He's going to hit home runs. Big, strong guy, kind of like a better version of Brian Stein. That's what I think. That's why he's higher. But number one, I don't think there's any question about it. Kendall Marte, it's not close. It's not close. Kendall Marte is the number one second baseman in all of baseball as well. I think the reason why, honestly, if he's on almost any other team, I think he's a bigger star in the game of baseball. I think the only reason he's not is because he's in Arizona, where I think that's more of an obscure team as far from a national perspective. But he hit almost 30 home runs last year, 36 the year before, 25 the year before. He's at 32 as well. He's a stud. He's absolute best second baseman as well. You can also put him in different positions at second, but at second, I think he's outstanding. Kendall Marte. There you go. All right. So there you go. Kendall Marte as well, best second baseman in the MLB. One more segment. And that's Robbie, Bobby, Ricky, Mike, Ralph Tresvant. I think I always get it wrong. That is Johnny Gill, Ralph Tresvant, the new edition. I think I'm getting it wrong. So I know not additions, new edition as well. The Robbie, so forget New Edition music group. Definitely check out a New Edition album. But we're going to talk about the players that were coming in to the Orioles this year. So these are guys, and I know somebody's going to say Basayo, I'm not talking about them, even though they're still rookies. Mayo, no. These are guys have not been on the field yet for the Orioles, except for really one. I didn't know the place until I put him on here. But other than that, these guys are not coming back. So, Gary Sanchez gone. Alex Jackson traded away. Grayson Rodriguez traded to the Angels. Jorge Mateo released. He signed with Atlanta recently. Dylan Carson, Jacob Webb. They're out the door. They're not here as well. We're still waiting, obviously, on Zach Gallen. Valdez, where it is. Valdez, maybe the Orioles are out. They're looking at a pitcher. They're certainly looking at one of these guys, so definitely two. So these are some rookies at the start here that may be up at some point this year. Luis De Leon, right-hander for the Orioles as well. Fast riser through the minor league system. So they're moving guys pretty quick through the minor league system. They traded away Grayson Rodriguez. They traded away Mike Ferret. They traded away some guys. So definitely there's room to move here in the minor league system. I think definitely you could see him at some point. Not right away for sure. He'll probably be in Bowie or Norfolk to start. But at some point, I think you could see his face in the major league level. Definitely keep an eye on him. This guy's had an outstanding career already as a minor league player. So the next step for him is a major leaguer. I'm pretty sure he's in Norfolk to start unless there's an injury of some kind. Trey Gibson, look for him, I think, probably after All-Star break or something like that. I also kind of think maybe even they want to preserve service time with him. But let's see how he does in Norfolk. But I definitely don't think he's going to not be in Camden Yards at some point this year as well. And Enrique Bradfield, I definitely think this is his shot. He's got to play well in Norfolk, too. I think, not top 100 prospect, still kind of well thought of, really complimented by Mike Elias. Some point we'll see it. Jeremiah Jackson, some competition in the outfield as well. We'll see. But I think at some point we'll see him. Also, to Peyton Estes, have him here as an outfielder. You could put him in the infield or the outfield as well. Came over in the trade for Alex Jackson. I think at some point, this is probably easier, like sooner in the year. I don't think they have any long-term plans for him, so I think he'll be up sooner if he can't make the opening day roster, which is possible as well. Tavares, again, another guy got in a trade, definitely a guy possibly in the outfield rotation at some point. Again, I think him and Estes are guys you probably see at some point. They'll probably be earlier pull the trigger on these two guys, right? Because I don't think they have any long-term plans, service time and all that. I think they'd rather have these guys as well rather than like a Bradfield, which they would want to get more at-bats in AAA and all that, etc. Now, Taylor Ward. This is the guy you got for Grayson Rodriguez. Only thing I don't like about the Taylor Ward acquisition is you only got really 1 year. So we'll see if he plays well. And he hit 36 home runs last year. It'll be interesting to see if you're able to keep a guy like a Taylor Ward. But we'll see how well Taylor Ward does. I think Taylor Ward's going to be fantastic. Everybody's kind of forgetting about him with the Pete Alonso edition, but I think this guy really has power talent. I think he's a top 10 outfielder in all of baseball at his position. I definitely like it. Not a great average hitter. And just some people just complain about that. If a guy is 250, if he's not 280, 290 OPS, I don't care. If someone's going to hit 30, I'll take that. I'll take that. Good, solid defender as well. Obviously, the crown jewel is Pete Alonso, the number one. I'm still in shock. I've said this several times. I'm going to say it one more time. Why did the Mets let this guy go? That's crazy. Had a career year. Again, not a darling of Saber metrics and all that other stuff. Not a great defender, but he's solid. I mean, he's been there for years at first base. He's going to get you 30 home runs. There's no question about it. So good question about it. I think he's getting off to a great start, too, because he's never really played in the American League. So he's spent his whole career in New York, and a lot of these guys don't have a book on them as well. So he's going to really do well, I think, early out the gate. For the Orioles to keep him healthy. And he has a track record of being healthy. He really hasn't had a track record of being on the shelf. Lots of injuries as well. So I think there's nothing not to like, obviously, about Pete Alonso at first base. This was kind of the one I would say, I guess it's a new addition because he was with us last year up until the trade deadline, but the Orioles traded back for him. So I did put Kittredge in just to know. I think we know a lot about Kittredge as well. But technically, I guess he's a new addition because he wasn't with us at the end of the year. They didn't require him until the offseason. I think he's definitely your seventh inning guy as of right now. He's pretty good. I think he's pretty good as well. I think there is a shot that he could have been a ninth inning guy if they had not acquired this guy, Ryan Helsey. He throws 100. I mean, you definitely want a guy on the back end that throws 100. There's nothing wrong with that. So definitely he throws hard. He's going to continue to throw hard. He struggled a bit. I think closers kind of go through this when it closes for a long time. So that doesn't concern me too much, but definitely especially worried about the health, the long-term health of Felix Bautista. You got a real closer in here in the ninth inning. So to score all those runs, etc., it was a bit of an issue last year. The bullpen actually wasn't as bad as it could have been, but it definitely still upgraded there as well. And Shane Baz as well traded away for Grayson Rodriguez. Traded away for 4 minor leaguers. The league thinks a lot of him. He's pretty good. I think he's a very, very good very good. Now, again, not Tampa anymore. Last year wasn't indicative because they weren't in the Trop, so they're in Camden Yards. I don't know if Camden Yards, I would call it hitter's park anymore, pitcher's park. So we gotta go over that. But again, Baz, I think this is a solid rotation guy. It's not an ace, but I think he could be that. He got that type of potential. Throws many pitches as well. Keep him healthy as well. This is kind of, for those of you, just a bit of a comparison, this is kind of in the Tampa organization what we thought of a Grayson Rodriguez, a DL Hall, etc. That's what you're getting with Shane Baz as well. There you go. All right. Thank you very much for joining us here. Ravori Sports Podcast. Like and subscribe to all of our social media content. We will be back next Wednesday, definitely for our Ravori Sports Podcast. So thank all of you for joining. We need one more. One of you right now that's watching on Twitter especially, go ahead, go to the YouTube page, subscribe, and you could be our 100th person as well. We may have a giveaway for somebody that's 100th person. You never know. You have a great day.